Welcome everybody, to our countdown of the top 10 most dangerous countries in the world. Now before you start booking your next vacation based on this list, let me be clear, this isn't about scaring anyone. It's about understanding the realities in different parts of our planet. These rankings are based on various factors including crime rates, political instability, and ongoing conflicts. We'll be taking a look at countries grappling with everything from civil wars and terrorism to humanitarian crises and rampant crime. It's heavy stuff, I know, but it's important to stay informed about what's happening in the world, even the parts that seem far away. So, buckle up, get ready for some hard truths, and let's dive into the list of the top 10 most dangerous countries in the world. Coming in at number 1, unfortunately, it's almost not a surprise anymore. Syria. This nation has been ravaged by civil war for over a decade. A decade, people. Imagine living through that, the constant fear, the displacement, the loss. The images coming out of Syria are heartbreaking. Bombed out buildings, families torn apart, and a generation scarred by violence. The war has created one of the worst humanitarian crises of our time, with millions displaced both inside and outside the country. The Syrian people have endured unimaginable suffering, and the situation remains incredibly volatile and dangerous. It's a stark reminder of the devastating impact of conflict and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable hardship. We can only hope for a peaceful resolution, but until then, Syria remains at the top of our list. Next up at number 2 is Afghanistan. Now, we all know Afghanistan has been through the ringer for, well, forever it seems. And just when you thought things couldn't get more complicated, the Taliban decided to stage a comeback tour. The US withdrawal and the swift Taliban takeover have left the country in a state of uncertainty and fear, especially for women and girls who face a terrifying new reality under Taliban rule. The presence of various militant groups including ISIS-K adds another layer of complexity and danger to the situation. It's a volatile mix, and the Afghan people are caught in the middle. The international community is watching closely, but the future of Afghanistan remains uncertain. One thing is for sure, the Afghan people deserve peace and stability after decades of conflict. At number 3 is South Sudan, a nation birthed from conflict and sadly, still grappling with it. You see, South Sudan gained independence in 2011, but the celebration was short-lived. Internal conflicts erupted, fueled by ethnic tensions and power struggles. The violence has displaced millions, created a dire humanitarian crisis, and left the country teetering on the brink. The stories coming out of South Sudan are harrowing. Famine, disease, and brutal violence have become all too common. It's a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict and the urgent need for peace and stability. The international community continues to provide aid and support, but a lasting solution requires a commitment from all sides to lay down their arms and work towards a peaceful future. Chapter 4. Coming in at number 4 is a country often described as the world's worst humanitarian crisis, Yemen. For years, Yemen has been ravaged by a brutal civil war, with regional powers fueling the conflict. The result? A catastrophic humanitarian crisis. Millions are facing starvation, healthcare systems have crumbled, and infrastructure has been decimated. It's a man-made disaster of epic proportions. The conflict in Yemen is complex, with a multitude of actors and interests at play. But one thing is clear, the Yemeni people are paying the price for a war they didn't ask for. The international community needs to step up its efforts to find a peaceful resolution and provide desperately needed humanitarian assistance. Chapter 5. At number 5, we have Iraq. Now, Iraq has been synonymous with conflict and instability for far too long. The US-led invasion in 2003 and its aftermath plunged the country into chaos. While there have been some improvements in recent years, Iraq still faces significant challenges. The rise and fall of ISIS, sectarian violence, and political instability continue to plague the nation. The Iraqi people have shown incredible resilience in the face of adversity, but they deserve a chance to rebuild their lives and their country in peace. The international community must continue to support Iraq's efforts to achieve stability and prosperity. Chapter 6. Number 6 on our list is Somalia, a nation synonymous with piracy and lawlessness. For decades, Somalia has been plagued by civil war, political instability, and the absence of a functioning central government. This has created a breeding ground for extremism, with groups like Al-Shabaab terrorizing the population. The threat of piracy off the Somali coast has also had a devastating impact on international shipping and trade. The Somali people have endured unimaginable hardships, but amidst the chaos, there are glimmers of hope. Efforts are underway to rebuild the country, but progress is slow and fraught with challenges. It's a long road ahead for Somalia, but the international community must continue to support their journey towards peace and stability. At number 7 is the Central African Republic, a nation trapped in a cycle of violence and poverty. The country has been plagued by coups, rebellions, and intercommunal violence for decades. This has created a humanitarian crisis with millions in need of assistance. The presence of armed groups vying for control of resources further exacerbates the situation. The Central African Republic is a stark reminder of the devastating impact of conflict on human lives and the urgent need for peace and stability. The international community must work together to support the Central African Republic in breaking the cycle of violence and building a brighter future for its people. Coming in at number 8 is Libya. Remember the Arab Spring? Well, Libya was right in the thick of it. The overthrow of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011 led to a power vacuum and years of civil war. Today, Libya remains divided, with rival governments and militias vying for control. This instability has created a haven for human trafficking, smuggling, and terrorism. The Libyan people deserve a chance to rebuild their country and live in peace. The international community must support efforts to achieve a political solution and end the violence. At number 9, we have the Democratic Republic of Congo, a country rich in natural resources but plagued by conflict and poverty. For decades, the DRC has been ravaged by war, fueled by ethnic tensions, land disputes, and the scramble for control of valuable minerals. The eastern part of the country in particular has become a battleground for various armed groups, displacing millions and creating a dire humanitarian crisis. Despite its challenges, the Congolese people have shown remarkable resilience. However, they need lasting peace and stability to harness the country's vast potential. The international community must work together to address the root causes of conflict and support the DRC's journey toward peace and prosperity. And rounding out our list at number 10 is Venezuela. Once an oil-rich nation, Venezuela has been plunged into a political and economic crisis of epic proportions. Hyperinflation, food shortages, and political repression have become the norm. The collapse of the Venezuelan economy has led to a mass exodus, with millions fleeing the country in search of a better life. The situation in Venezuela is a cautionary tale of the devastating consequences of economic mismanagement, corruption, and political instability. The Venezuelan people deserve a brighter future. The international community must continue to provide humanitarian assistance and support efforts to restore democracy and economic stability. Well, there you have it, folks, the top 10 most dangerous countries in the world. It's a sobering reminder of the challenges facing our planet and the human cost of conflict, instability, and inequality. But it's important to remember that these rankings only tell part of the story. Behind the statistics are real people with hopes, dreams, and the resilience to overcome adversity. So stay informed, stay engaged, and let's work together to build a safer, more peaceful world for everyone. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more informative content.